Hey guys, this is Charles from worshipguitarskills.com, and in today's video I want to show you two cool approaches that you can use to add a melodic layer to your playing. Let's go ahead and check out the track, and afterwards I'll break everything down for you note for note. Alright, so there we go. It's a very simple track. It's a 1-4-6-5 in a key of C, meaning the chords will be C, F, A minor, G. And then in that chorus section, it's 4-1-6-5, which will be F, C, A minor, G. If you want to check out the chords that we used for that rhythm, you can just go ahead and check out the link in the description to find the previous video lesson where I showed you exactly the chords along with the rhythms and the technique to play that. But for now, we want to focus on that melodic component within that track. So what the one guitar is obviously doing, it's playing the chords down here, and that means that for the melodic guitar, we can go ahead up to the middle to the higher part of the neck. So the first part I played sounded like this. So these chords came from what I call the 4-2 voicings. This would be a C major, or a C5 rather, and an F major. This technically would be the A minor, and then the G. So C, F, A minor, and G. We've covered these 4-2 voicings at length on this channel. You can just go and check out our video section to learn more about them. But I wanted to make things a little bit interesting by spicing up the rhythm and also introducing a little bit of dissonance, and I'll get to that in a second. Let's look at the rhythm first of all. So it's a fairly syncopated rhythm. I'll go ahead and turn off my delay and then just play it for you again. Slowly. So you can see what I'm doing is hybrid picking. I'll just do it for you again once more, nice and slow. It's almost alternating between playing both notes together and doing a single note. And then with the delay, of course, it sounds like this. Then I just move up my 8th fret on the B to the 10th fret on the B for the F chord. And now for A minor, like I said, typically it's either this shape or this shape. But what's happening here is I'm playing a C note on the D string together with a B note on the B string, and that gives me this kind of an A minor 9 sound, but this interval has got quite a lot of dissonance into it. Technically it's a major 7 interval, which is very dissonant, but it resolves. And it resolves quite cool in that sense. So in music, tension and resolution is very important. And I think when you learn how to add proper tension to what you're playing it and resolving it properly as well, then it can really add a new dimension to music. And a discussion for another day, but if you just think about life, it's not always, moonshine and roses. We go through challenges, trials and tribulations, and that is kind of a dissonant part of life. But then we know that God always comes through for us in terms of resolving things and, taking us through those challenges, equipping and empowering us to deal with whatever comes our way. Now, I like to think of life like that and see how can I mimic that in music through the use of tension and resolution. And if you think about it, another way to look at it is like chaos and order. That's kind of like what life is like. You go through these seasons and you go through tension, moments of tension and resolution. And I think when you can play that on the guitar, then people really get to familiarize themselves with that, or they get to really resonate with what you are playing because you are really being able to demonstrate that in a cool way. So that's kind of a more philosophical, deeper approach to tension and resolution, and why I guess music is, like said, to be the universal language. But just purely from our point of view here, for worship guitar skills, it's just a cool way to add some tension and we resolve it. And then for the G, I played like a G sus4 that I resolved to a normal G. So as you can see, my varying degrees of tension that gets resolved, it's different. Here for the A minor, it's quite tense and then it gets resolved, and then when I do G sus4 to G, it's no longer as tense, but it's still a form of tension that gets resolved. So that's simply the first part of that section. In terms of the chords and then the rhythm. And if that rhythm is a bit too tricky for you, you can just go. You can simplify that as well. Let me go ahead and do a simplified version of this line that I've just shown you, and so you can see I can still use these chord shapes without having to try and get that syncopated rhythm perfect, in case that's just a little bit above your current ability. Let's go ahead and check out a simplified version using these same shapes. Alright, so let's check out the second part, which is a simple repetitive motif that I'm playing over the 4-1-6-5 chords, which would be F, C, A minor, G. And what's happening here is I'm simply playing my first finger on the 12th fret of the G string, and then my second finger on the 13th fret of the B string. It's essentially these two notes of a C chord, just 12 frets higher. And then I'm fretting my first finger in such a way that it will also bar the 12th fret on the B string. And then I'm using, again, a combination of hybrid picking together with some hammer-ons and pull-offs to give me this line. So this G note, much like we had here, it becomes a pedal tone. So nice and slow, I'm picking the G, then the B, and I do a pull off, and then I split it, which is the G to the B, which is the playing with the pick and then the finger. And those are my final three notes. All together, nice and slow. And you can also do it here, for example. Now these notes will work over the F chord, because then it's going to be that sus2 together with the fifth that goes to a sharp 4, which again is a nice tension. Then when we go over the C, it's simply going to be the fifth and the root going to the major seventh. And then when it's over the A minor, it's a minor seventh, the minor third going to the minor ninth. And then over the G chord, it's simply the root with a sus4 going to the third. But I did actually change it. Instead of going, I went to the D note over the G chord that we pulled off to the C note, which is the sus4. So whatever you're doing for the first 3 bars are the same. And then for the final bar, which is the G, we just did this. Everything is the same, but instead of pulling off from 13 to 12, we're pulling off from 15 to 13. Then I repeated the same thing again over the F, the C, and the A minor. And then the final time over the G, we did this. So it's picking on the G, the B, and a hammer on. And then picking GB again. And then we just ended it on this. Alright, so that's some fun with the melodic components that you can use, making use of the 4/2 voicings or a repetitive melodic phrase like this. What's cool about this is the melody doesn't change, even though the chords change, but it's a nice thing for the listener's ears to kind of catch on to. So let me go ahead and play that for you again with the track where you can hear the verse melody part and then followed by the chorus melody part. Let's check that out once again. Alright, so there you have it. Nice and simple, kind of showing you what you can do with your rhythm guitar, as well as some melodic things that you can do on the lead guitar. Now, if you like this kind of lesson and the way these things are broken down, just check out the links in the description with some additional training and resources that will help you to take your worship guitar skills to the next level and explain things to you in simple terms that you can actually see how the parts are deconstructed so that you can go and either recreate some famous parts you want to play on Sundays or even come up with your own. So in the description, there'll be a link to training and resources that will help you do just that. Right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell icon. You'll get notifications whenever we release new videos just like this one. And I look forward to seeing you in our next video.